Hey, Inspired Tribe. How's it going? Welcome to the Inspired live stream here on the Inspired channel. We are very, very bright today. Thank you. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free, we're in love, and we're excited. We keep running into people, and we have the same feeling that tell us I'm excited. And that's kind of the feeling that we have too, and it's pretty cool. It's December 10th, Thursday. Hey, Agnieszka, December 10th, 2020. We're in the home stretch of 2020, but even though it appears that this year is slowly but surely coming to an end, we believe that there might be some really amazing things happening throughout the last 20 days of this year. We're excited. There's Christmas coming up. Merry Christmas to everyone. It's a beautiful time for miracles. It's a beautiful time. Actually, the beautiful time about Christmas is that we normalize miracles. Around Christmas, when something really cool happens, it's a Christmas miracle. Everyone's cheering for it, and that's exciting. So let's normalize miracles around these days. Let's tune into the energy. We have interesting topic that was triggered by something that happened yesterday. Today, it's called Can You Hear It? That's what we're going to talk about. Hey, Agnieszka. Hey, Illy. Can I get a hello there? Hello there. And yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. But it's a very important topic, actually. And I think there's not a single viewer out there today who won't be able to relate to that. And I kind of want to jump right into it. I think you guys are ready. So as you know, for those of you who are following our channel, we are pretty much posting videos every day, give or take. Sometimes we might take a day off, but usually it's every day. And pardon me?
360 videos a year.
Mine says 260 videos a year. I mean, counting the live streams, it's probably even more than that. But the point is, we love creating inspiring videos, and of course, there's a lot of Abraham, but there's EUCY, there's not the point. The point is, and we're gonna get there. We really enjoy creating that. I really enjoy putting this all together and the visuals and everything. And yesterday, for the first time, I believe, there was an unexpected mishap. It was a really good Greg Braden video. If you haven't watched it, please go and watch it. And what happened was in the first 2 or 3 minutes of the video, the music for some reason was way louder than in the other parts of the video. And sure enough, there was a flood of comments, 50, 60 comments. Some of them nasty, some of them angry. The music's too loud. The music sucks. Way too loud. Can't hear it. Like some people were just pointing it out. Others were getting, kind of agitated about it. And for a while, I kept reading the comments, and then I just commented on the top. I pinned the comment and said, "We're sorry, this happened. We didn't know what happened. There's a glitch." But anyways, we're still, there's nothing we can do at this point. But here's what came to my mind when I read those comments isn't it interesting? The stuff that Greg talks about, Greg Braden in the video, the stuff that you keep hearing every day and every viewer of our videos keeps hearing every day is the question is, what do we focus on? Even in this video, Greg Braden closes with a quote by Buckminster Fuller and says, well, you cannot create something new by fighting and focusing on the old. And what does this equation represent? So there was Greg Braden speaking in the video, and the music in some parts was too loud. Yes, it was very loud. Not to the point where you couldn't hear Greg. It was just a little too loud. And it reminded me of how when we are going about our daily lives, there's so much noise out there that it drowns out our inner voice. It drowns out God's voice. And now what we can do is we have one of two choices here. I mean, we can either go out and try to fight the noise and complain about it and tell everyone to get quiet and tell our neighbors and pay attention to the voice inside. And there were some people on that video yesterday that kind of pointed that out and said, if you focus on what you want to hear, you will hear it perfectly fine. Some people had no trouble hearing Greg's voice. What we realized is that we have a very programmed mindset as humans to find the one little thing that isn't as expected and then get hung up on that. The message was so beautiful in that video, and if you can wrap your mind around the music being a little too loud, you can hear the whole message and you can hear the rest of the video just fine. But the point is, where does our attention and our focus go? Are we looking for things to get annoyed with? Are we looking for things to get agitated about? Are we looking for the things that appear to be wrong? Or are we focusing on that which actually excites us? And not just that, are we actually paying attention to the voice that we hear? And that's where the question of today's live stream comes in. Can you hear it? Because the voice is always there. Your inner voice is always there. This guidance system is always there. God is always there speaking to you 24/7. 24/7, 365 days, 366 days every 4 years. And pretty much from the beginning to your time to the time when we transition into this other reality, there's this voice talking to us. What do we pay attention to? Are we so caught up in our human stories? Are we so caught up in all the noise? Are we so caught up in the opinions of others? Are we so caught up in the media that's bombarding us? Are we so caught up in everything that's happening around us that we don't hear what we came to hear? And this is kind of a really interesting, I've never seen such a flood of negative comments based on a technicality, but it wasn't a technicality. What happened in those people? You see, they got really angry about it. They said, I can't hear the message. I can't hear the message. Yes, you can. You just decided to pay attention to something else. And this is not a judgment call. It's not to call someone out. It's more a realization of how we are programmed to focus on even if 10 things go really well for us and one thing doesn't, we focus on the one thing, right? If our day, if 23 hours of our day were really, really good and 1 hour wasn't, what's the one that we're going to talk about? What's the story that we're going to tell? Man, this 1 hour, it was really shitty. We're going to tell everyone about it. Why? Is this natural? No, it's a program. It's a program. It's basically, it's the equivalent of turning on your TV. What are you seeing? There are no news and new events being reported. There are bad things being reported. Everything's bad. Scandal, death, end of the world, catastrophe. It's just bad stuff. But when you go outside and experience the world for yourself, that's not your experience, is it? You go and find a lot of beautiful things. You find a lot of wonderful people out there. You find a lot of positive conversations, or inspiring conversations for that matter. You find a lot of good. You find a lot of uplifting. You find a lot of beautiful. But if you were to look at it through the lens of a TV screen, you'd say, man, it's a really bad place. Music's too loud everywhere. And the question is, how can we hear it? How can we drown out the noise? Because this experience yesterday, and we decided on purpose not to take down that video, not to replace it or re-upload it, just because it shows it's a sign of something else. It's a sign for a bigger picture. And maybe some people, even without any guidance, will figure it out and focus on the voice. And what happens when you focus on that inner voice? Have you ever done it? Have you ever sat, even not just the voice, have you ever sat somewhere where it was really, really loud, maybe in public, maybe in on a subway or a bus or a train or plane or somewhere where there's a lot of noise, and you have just paid attention and try to detect your heartbeat and just listen to your heartbeat. After a while, you'll be so in tune with your heartbeat that you won't hear the rest anymore. And we can't. We have the ability to do that. We have the ability to drown out the noise. We have the ability to move beyond that which disturbs us or distracts us, and move into a space where we actually hear again. And this is everything that all the spiritual teachings are about. It's about finding that quiet place within you where you can actually hear the voice. And the voice is always there. It's interesting because when you tune in, when you tune your channel just right, you wonder where has it been? Now it's so clear. Now I hear it so clearly. Now my guidance is so clear. Where has it been? It's always been there. You just weren't tuned to it. You were paying attention to the music being too loud. This is universal you. It's a universal us. We don't exclude ourselves. We're experiencing ourselves sometimes that we find the one thing that isn't all that good and then give it some attention and give it some focus. And it doesn't really matter that much, does it? So it all leads back to us and taking control of how we apply ourselves, how we listen, how we look. What are we looking for? What's your intention when you start your day? Because when your intention throughout the day is, I always thank God. I have this conversation every morning. It's a little different every morning, but some of the things remain the same. I give thanks because I love experiencing the feeling of appreciation for all the beautiful things that I'm experiencing every day. I give thanks for the things I have experienced. I think thanks for the things I am experiencing and the things that are coming my way. And I'm always giving thanks for the guidance that I'm going to receive for, throughout this day. And with giving thanks and by giving thanks and having made that decision, I'm already tuning myself to hearing it. Because if I give thanks for guidance, I might as well listen to it. It's always there. So then the next decision is, and that's kind of implied, that I will not be swayed by all the opinions. I will not be swayed by all the noise that's out there. I'm going to remain in a more balanced state. And I'm going to listen more carefully. I'm going to actually seek out quietness. And this is where you start hearing it. When you get more quiet, when you not just meditate, but simply be in silence. Sometimes we are so used to just doing something and being and entertaining our minds that we have a big problem with sitting still. I don't remember who it was from originally, but Wayne Dyer always quoted it. This quote, and I'm paraphrasing, but all of the world's problems come from man's inability to sit in a room quietly. And it really is so. If you think about it, the most beautiful things happen sometimes when we're just in silence, because we allow ourselves to tune out everything else and just be. And this just being part is really powerful. And it's beyond boredom. Boredom comes first. Boredom comes when the mind seeks attention and entertainment and you don't give in. Then boredom kicks in for a while. But when you stay a little longer, eventually boredom subsides and something deeper starts to happen. It's when your thoughts connect to the all that is. And they do. When your mind connects to source, something extraordinary begins to happen. You start hearing the voice again. And you don't pay attention to the music, and you don't pay attention to the noise around you. You don't even pay attention to the beliefs that you had just a little while ago. More fulfilling than anything else. And so this experience yesterday, what gave so much clarity. It showed us so clearly. Just by getting 50, 60, 70 comments, they pretty much say, oh my God, the music's too loud. I can't hear. What do you mean you can't hear? You just don't want to. You really wanted to point out that something is too loud, but what if you had tuned yourself to Greg's voice? What if that, was the most important part of this video? And then you probably would have not even noticed the music being too loud. Now, we do apologize for the technical glitch. It wasn't intended, but then again, I think it was a beautiful collaboration, and the universe, and God, they had, you know, they had a bigger plan for this. So they made it happen so we could see something. And this isn't just about video. This is about every day. This is about how do we make our decisions? How do we make choices? Every choice in your life is life-changing. Because as soon as you make that choice, even if it's just white or dark chocolate, it changes something. It changes what you're going to taste. It changes what you're going to experience. It changes, you know, how your body will react to it, all those things. So everything's kind of life-changing. But how do we make those choices? If we go with analytics and statistics and pulling in all the data, if that's your way of making choices, you're about to enter a really interesting age, because this is the age of information gathering and algorithms and presenting the analytically logical choice. If, however, you believe that you are the most powerful biocomputer, if you will, everything's electricity within you, if you believe that you're the most powerful creator on this earth, then there's a different way of making choices. And that's hearing the voice, intuition, guidance, being in tune. You can call it God's voice. You can call it your higher self. The name doesn't really matter. It doesn't discriminate. But then choices become something sacred almost. You're actually looking forward to starting a new way of making decisions, starting a new way of seeing life by listening to that voice and then trusting it and taking the inspired action. It's a whole new way of living. It's so satisfying and fulfilling and rich and exhilarating. You never ever question or doubt your decisions because you have felt the guidance so clearly and you have followed the guidance. Then even when things don't appear to go right on the outside, you have no doubt because you know, I followed the guidance. I felt it clearly. I heard the voice. I followed it. So it's got to turn out perfectly fine for me. And then it does. So this is the beauty of when when you start listening to it and hearing it and acting on it, is that you quit questioning your doubts or quit questioning your decisions and get rid of the doubts. When you do it in the analytical way, then when things appear to go right, you pat yourself on the shoulder for having gathered all the data and being so smart about it, yourself up because you haven't gathered enough data to make a better decision. And there's nothing wrong about gathering data sometimes. There's nothing wrong about looking at the big picture. We're not saying this is a wrong thing. But we're saying ultimately, in the beginning, right when a decision comes up, and then when you actually make the decision, there are these 2 points in time where you have a clear intuition about what the right choice is. As soon as the mind kicks in, your history, your experience, your past experiences with this topic, everything you've ever read about it, everything you've ever heard about it, all of that starts kicking in and influencing your decision. But when you're first confronted with the choice, you have clear intuition. And then best case scenario, once you're ready to make that choice, you listen to that. That's usually just how these things are, and how it, it's a very satisfying life when we do things that way. It makes no sense to others. Sometimes makes even no sense to us. Not at that moment in time, but I can just tell you, it's been the only recipe for a beautiful and fulfilling life for us is to follow that voice. And sometimes a decision we made 15 years ago starts coming to fruition now, and we still know that everything in between was just the way it was supposed to be. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? No regrets. No regrets. No regrets, people. So when the music's too loud, now, for those of you who haven't watched the video, you probably will go after this live stream, watch the video, see what all the fuzz is about, and probably come to the conclusion that, yes, the music was too loud. No doubt about it. But can you hear what Greg is saying in the video? Or does it annoy you so much that you can't? And then you have some practicing to do, and that's fine too. Do it. Practice it. Practice hearing what you want to hear. Practice putting your attention where you want it to be. You get especially good at it when you have children. It's perfect, because especially when they get into that stage when they're teenagers, you practice it every day, all day. It's beautiful because you do get to drown out the noise and hear what you want to hear. And if you don't, it's a very long day. Speaking from experience here. So Inspired Tribe, let me see what you guys are saying in the comments. So Agnieszka said, me too, but it wasn't too loud. Emma says, I didn't care about the loud music, didn't bother me. And maybe that's just because you like us. And you know us. That might be.
Oh, she learned so much this year.
I know. And Zainab says, amazing how I didn't watch the video. I watch you guys almost every morning. Source smooths out the unnecessary stuff for us to resistance. Yes, I totally agree. Gary says, yes, I did jump to conclusions at the beginning and found it came down as it went along. Yes, it did. It was a glitch in the first 3 minutes of the video. But really what it came down to, now that you've listened to this live stream so far, it just became so clear, and then it became funny. And it was a perfect example. If this was an Abraham video, it would have been even clearer because they talk about it all the time. What do you pay attention to? And I remember there's this story, Esther shared it, or Abraham shared it about Esther in one of the segments, where Esther travels with her friend. I think her friend's name is Barbara. And Barbara is apparently in a perpetual state of bliss all the time, or at least she's in her own world where she doesn't really pay attention to any of the bad stuff that happens around her. And so there's a story, you might have heard that segment, where Esther and Barbara are in the airport, and there's this guy in front of them who's walking through security, and apparently he has crossed a line that was there on the floor, and the lady there, I think it was a lady, yelled at him and put him in his place and was really rude. And Esther thought to herself, well, that wasn't necessary, she could have been nicer, and wanted to ask Barbara's opinion, who was standing right next to her. And Barbara, what are you talking about? I didn't notice anything. And Esther thought to herself, wow, that's the kind of state I want to be in. I don't even see it happening because it is just not in my range. And that's a good way. Now, we all have our different experiences in our purpose, but when we set an intention, I think we can get into that state where we simply do not experience those things. And Christina and I see that a lot of times because as we go about our days and go someplace and we're just enjoying ourselves and laughing and talking and having fun and kissing. Yes, there's a lot of kissing going on. And sometimes people tell us, wow, did you see this yesterday? And they talk about a big commotion somewhere, something happens, someone got, I don't know what, and we might have been just a block away and had no idea it happened just because it was out of our frequency. We just didn't pay attention to anything even remotely bad. So yeah, that's when you set an intention. Let me see. Angie says Emma is magical, beautiful. Emma has a beautiful voice.
Maybe we hear something.
Yeah. Let me see. Emma also says, yes, it is. I don't know exactly what, but she says, Jean and Christine showed me the path. And Emma had a really, really good year. Zainab says, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. The universe has put me here 2 days in a row now. Best surprise ever. I love you all. Now I have to. I love you. Squeeze my eyes. I love you all, beautiful, shiny souls. The energy here is so amazing. Thanks to all. Zainab, welcome to the tribe, to the Inspired Tribe. Here's the thing, you're now official member. As soon as you watch one live stream, you'll become a member. There's nothing you can do about it. You can never, ever not be a member. It's a lifelong thing, and there's no membership fee. You're simply loved and appreciated, and the tribe is here to be with you and help you if you ever need help. So reach out, connect with everyone. Welcome officially. We're so excited that you're here. Agnieszka said it. See, she says, here is only pure love. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. And what we're going to do next week, I think it's going to be the last week of live streams next week. We're going to maybe do 1 or 2 center of the circle rounds for the new members to experience it. It's a beautiful experience. So we might do this on Monday. I have a candidate in mind now who might be perfect. So if you're here on Monday, you might be in the center of the circle, and I think you'll love it.
And maybe we do a EUCY on Wednesday or Thursday before the end of the year.
Yes, we could do a Christmas EUCY. Yeah, juicy EUCY for Christmas. Juicy with EUCY.
Christmas juicy EUCY.
All right, you guys. Be like Barbara. Yep. All right, my friends. Thank you for being here with us. It was short and sweet. Now go listen to the video and don't get agitated by the music. It's going to be there for eternity for people to to discern what they want to hear and see. I wonder how many comments we can get on the music being done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mandapandable. That's a very cool name. We're in Nashville, Tennessee. And thanks for tuning in. Tribe, we'll see you again on Monday, 2 p.m. Central Standard. By the way, Tribe, I just want to let you know, I'm totally inspired here. And to thank you all for those of you who've been shopping with us in the Inspired Merch Store. I know some of you have done some Christmas shopping. There's a lot of great stuff in the Inspired Merch Store. Links in the comment. Christine has been doing her magic, designing beautiful things. It's always beautiful to look at. And there's
new merch is coming up, inspired by Angel and Illy, approved by Siobhan.
New merch is coming up, inspired by Angel and Illy, approved by Siobhan. It's going to be a long ass fun. No, just kidding. But she's adding new merch all the time, so please check it out. And we'll see you on Monday, 2 p.m. Central Standard. We love you all. Remember this. No matter what happens, no matter what's going on, no matter what's going on the outside, the voice is always there. You can always tune in. You are, just by virtue of being alive, you have this connection. So, whatever happens outside the voice, there you will be guided. Tune in. We love you. See you Monday. Have a wonderful weekend.